There is nothing more satisfying than a warm, indulgent piece of cake. Well, maybe one thing. Knowing that that cake is light, wholesome, and has no added sugar. That's exactly what I'm making today. And I'm adding even more natural sweetness by caramelizing apples to go on top. Stick around to the end and I'll show you exactly how I make them taste so sweet without any sugar. So let's get started. Crack 2 eggs into a bowl. Add 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract and 1/3 cup of your favorite sweetener. Give it a good whisk. Now add 1 cup of low-fat cottage cheese, half a cup of non-fat Greek yogurt, and a pinch of salt. Whisk again until everything's nicely combined. One second, here's a quick tip. Baking powder tends to clump, and if one of those little lumps ends up in your piece of cake, it can leave a really unpleasant bitter taste. To avoid that, it is good to remember to sieve the ingredients. Into a sieve, add 1 cup of all purpose flour, 1 teaspoon baking powder, half a teaspoon of baking soda. Sift it right in. See those little clumps left behind? That is exactly what we want to avoid. Now stir the batter until smooth. I'm using an 8 by 8 inch glass baking dish lined with parchment paper. It makes it so much easier to lift the cake out once it's baked. No sticky mess. Pour the butter in. If you're not a fan of the little curds from the cottage cheese, you can blend the butter for a smoother texture, but honestly, after baking, they pretty much disappear. Now, for the extra sweetness, I'm topping this cake with my sugar-free caramelized apples. They taste unbelievably sweet, and they are made with just apples and cinnamon. Here's how I make them. Use firm, sweet apples like Fuji, Gala, or Golden Delicious. Dice them into small cubes. Preheat a pan or a pan. Toss the apples in, sprinkle with some cinnamon, cover, and cook over low heat. Stir occasionally and let them cook down slowly. The apples will release water, which will reduce over time, concentrating their natural sugars and making them taste incredibly sweet. They're done when they look soft, golden, and glossy, just like this. Important tip: let the apples cook completely before adding them to your batter. I've made this mistake of using hot apples, they sunk right into the cake. When they are cool, they'll still beautifully on top. And that was the goal. Bake the cake at 375 degrees Fahrenheit for about 45 minutes. Keep in mind, oven times may vary, so check for doneness. Since I didn't use any sugar in the batter, I sometimes dust it up with a little bit powdered sugar. I had 1 tablespoon ready, but I only used about 1 to 2 teaspoons, and it still looked generous. Here is the best part. The whole cake has only 1,125 calories and 63 grams of protein. If you cut it like me into 9 servings, each piece has just 125 calories and 70 grams of protein. Pretty great, right? It's light, naturally sweet, and so comforting, especially warm. And it tastes amazing. I just love warm, comforting cakes. How about you?